How's it going, everyone? It's Bomberman Dan, and I'm bringing you some professional StarCraft 2 replays. And today it's a Heart of the Swarm game with LiquidSnute, our Zerg player, against FXOBabyKnight, our Protoss player. And this is only going to be a ladder match because I could not find any real best of 3 games. Because replays are kind of a little bit more scarce now, and they're hard to find. So I did manage to find a good ladder match with two fairly reputable players, as we have LiquidSnute, the latest Team Liquid player. He is our Zerg player right here, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Whirlwind Ladder Edition, and FXOBabyKnight, sort of like the newest addition to FXO as well. So we have Babyknight here, and he just played at MLG Dallas. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do too well there, getting knocked out in the very first round, but you can't win them all. So we have a Heart of the Swarm game here, so this is going to be my first one I'm uploading. I have been playing a lot of Heart of the Swarm, so I know my way around some things, but of course there is no real meta yet, so I'm not entirely sure what either of these players are going to go for. So we do have Babyknight actually opening up with Gateway first, and he's not deciding to do any little wall off or anything. He's just going to go for a standard Gateway, as well as add on a gas. So we're going to have to see if Babyknight is going to do some early pressure. It seems that way. He could be going for fast warp gate tech because he is getting this gas at a time that you could be going for some fast pressure with maybe 2 or 3 gates. We see Snute getting his hatchery up at a normal time, going hatch first. As you can see, there is no spawning pool anywhere around here, so he will be adding that on right now just to stay safe, not going too greedy there. So normal play there by Snute, as we are on a 4-player map and you have to scout. So going Nexus first, or of course Hatchery first, is a very viable option. We do see Babyknight adding on his Cyber Core right here, and he's going to be sending out a Zealot. And I was gonna assume that as soon as this Cyber Core is done, we're probably gonna have a Mothership Core come out, as we are adding on that second gas. So there is probably going to be a little bit of fast aggression here, fast Mothership Core for sure, and maybe some fast tech or some sentries out here just to keep us safe. This map is fairly easy to Forge Fast Expand or Gateway Fast Expand if you're going to try to wall off here. It's not the smallest ramp, it's about a 3 force field ramp if you do it just perfectly, so not too terrible in terms of early expanding. Going back to Snute, we do have a gas going down here, so it could be some fast speed, just a normal gas timing there. So if he wants to go for maybe a Roach Warren here soon, or any sort of fast tech, that's a possibility. We do have a sentry on the way for Babyknight, as well as not a Mothership Core yet, so I guess I read that wrong. And it looks like he will be going for an Expo right here. There's the 400 mints. The Expo does go down, and I guess he just wanted to get a sentry out here just to protect him from any Ling run-bys or anything. And now that he has his Gateway and he has this faster tech, rather than going with a Forge, he can really quickly make a lot of Gateway units there to put on some pressure, because as we see, Zergs really don't get anything new early game. So it's going to be the typical Wings of Liberty kind of build, where you're going to have to get some Lings, maybe some Roaches, Spinecrawler or 2, and that's basically going to set you up for your 3 bases as a Zerg player. We do have another sentry coming out here for Babyknight, so that's going to be 3 sentries, so it looks like he may want to stay back and turtle up, or he could be going and saving this, getting these sentries early so that he can use some good force fields in an engagement. So there's the Mothership Core now coming out, and it looks like we will have a small little SimCity or wall off go down right here at this ramp to keep him secure. We do have Snute going for his 3rd base here, so it looks like Snute going for a very typical ZVP. We do have Metabolic Boost about halfway done, and we have no signs of tech from Snute just yet. There's no Roach Warren, there's no Evolution Chamber, there's nothing too certain right now, so we'll have to see when he adds on gases. As we see, he's not really mining any gas, he's got 1 in there, so he's just definitely droning up, getting as many mins as he possibly can. We do have this little kind of wall off here with 2 gates and a Forge, as well as 4 sentries here. So we'll have to see if Babyknight's going to kind of capitalize on having out all of these sentries there. We do have this Mothership Core kind of poking out here, taking a little bit of map control, definitely because no Zerg early game unit can really take this out besides a Queen, and you're definitely not going to see a Queen outside of Babyknight's base at this point in time in the game. He's safe to just keep it there to kind of ward off any Ling attacks. And we do have quite a bit of Lings out on the field. They do have metabolic boost, so they can chase down anything. And it looks like they're going to find Baby Knight's proxy pylon here, or maybe not. Yep, he's going to send 2 Lings there, and that is going to definitely be shut down. So it does look like Baby Knight does want to kind of push forward with something. We have a lot of sentries here, and the Lings are going to come up here, but they're going to have to back off because there are way too many units here. And the Mothership Core just focusing down a couple Zerglings there. But again, we don't really have too much of anything. It could be a fast +1 push here, just to do a little bit of harassment, but he does not have a proxy pylon down, so it is going to be trouble for Baby Knight if he wants to push forward. We do have a Roach Warren about to be finished, as well as our Layer Tech going to be finishing here soon for Snute. So Snute is going to be being able to add on some rapid amounts of tech. And we'll have to see if it is going to be roaches, or if he's just throwing that down there for sort of some protection. Baby Knight, on the other hand, has a bunch of sentries, and it looks like he might be wanting to push out here. He has this Mothership Core that is able to focus down Zerglings and do a lot of damage just over time. It's not the most powerful unit, but it does whittle away when there's nothing able to attack it. We do have a Twilight Council going down here for Baby Knight, so that's going to push his tech forward into the Templar tech. So we're probably going to see maybe DTs, Blink, Charge Lots, High Templars, Archons, definitely something along the lines with this tech. We can also get more upgrades, and it looks like Snute is going to push up here, and he's going to be put away because Baby Knight is not fully committing to this, as he has a lot of stuff, but I don't see if Baby Knight is going to be able to push forward here. There are going to be a lot of roaches. The force fields do go down, and it looks like he might have to recall out of there, or he could just walk away. There is the recall there, so he does not want to lose anything. He did use quite a bit of energy on these sentries, so that's force fields that he won't be able to use later, unfortunately. As we can see, this one sentry is fully out of energy, basically. A robotics facility does go down there because he does see that there are a lot of roaches, and he does not want to have to mess around with those. Going back to Snute's base, we do have an infestation pit as well as an evolution chamber going down, and looking around at all of his bases, he doesn't really have any other tech. So as far as we know, he is just going to go Roach Ling. This infestation pit is going to be able to let him to go Infestors or Vipers, and Vipers are a very, very good counter to any sort of heavy robo play, because you're allowed to pull in those Colossus and just absolutely kill them so quickly, as well as Immortals, because the Immortals won't be able to sit in the back behind the force fields. They'll actually get pulled through as well. So Snute could be going for some Viper play, or just going for some Infestors. We'll have to see there. Immortals are going down here, so a very standard play here by Baby Knight, just getting standard gateway units up here, a couple sentries, some Zealots, some Stalkers, and going for the Immortals. We do have Blink coming here soon, so that's going to make his Stalkers a bit more efficient in trading. We see Snute trying to get that third to be delayed a little bit more, using that Overlord to spread some creep here. Snute as well is going to be getting his 4th base up, so he's going to be using his economy to get him farther into this game. Looking back at his base, we don't really see too much. We do see the infestation pit getting pathogen glands there, so it looks like it will be Infestors. 2 hallucinated phoenixes do enter Baby Knight, or Snute's base, and they will scout all of this and see everything that goes down. We do have the Hydralisk Den going down, so it looks like it's going to be Roach Hydra with maybe some sort of Infestor or Viper push. Snute trying to prevent this 3rd base from going down here. He does have quite a bit of roaches and Lings, but some good force fields here by Baby Knight would really just decimate that entire force here. So the 3rd base does go down there by Baby Knight, and it looks like Baby Knight is just going to just stay calm and try to get that 3rd base up. We do have another robotics facility going down, as well as robotics bay. So as I was saying earlier, a good engagement here by Baby Knight, getting a lot of roaches there with some very good force fields, but we see that Snute does still have a good army. He's definitely not in a bad position here, as he does have this 4th base ready to start mining whenever he wants to. And it looks like it's going to be Swarm Host, a unit I completely forgot about. Swarm Host will be absolutely killer on this army, because this army doesn't have too much DPS. We do have Zealots here, but they are going to quickly get killed by the Locusts, and we're going to have the Colossus come out soon in order to start to deal with these. There are only 3 Swarm Hosts out on the field, and he's going to have to protect those because those are very weak. If he does a quick burrow here, he will be fine. There is an Observer with this army, though, so it could be a problem. A very nice surround there by Snute, and this looks like this army is going to have a bad time, and I think Baby Knight does get a blink out of there, but he's going to lose all of the rest of his units, and it looks like Snute did get a very good trade there, and Baby Knight is not in a good position. These swarm hosts are actually going to just absolutely whittle away this army. As we can see, the first wave of locusts are going to come in here, and they might be able to snipe a cannon or two, might be able to get a zealot kill or two, and it looks like the one cannon is going to go down, as well as maybe the second one, and with already one wave of locusts, that's 300 damage done in terms of minerals on those cannons. So these swarm hosts are going to be paying for themselves rather shortly, but we do have two Colossus on the field that do DPS them down very, very quickly. Force fields are down to try to prevent the roaches and swarm hosts for the locusts from coming up. But I think Snute is in a very good position here. He's continuing to do swarm host production, so the swarm hosts will be continuing outside the space. And as we can see here, FXOBabyKnight can't push forward here because there are some roaches and some rings out there, so he's gonna have to deal with those first. And then these locusts are actually forcing out a ton of sentry force fields here. So now these sentries aren't gonna have any force fields to deal with anything else. And it looks like there is going to be a little bit of a counterattack here with the roaches, forcing FXOBabyKnight to kind of walk back. But FXOBabyKnight is going to be able to deal with this very, very easily. But he still has to deal with all of these swarm host locusts coming up here. And look at, they're going to actually start to focus down the Nexus. So if FXOBabyKnight doesn't deal with this, the Nexus actually is going to go down. And with the Lings and the small amount of locusts, he does lose his third base. So now Snute is in a very, very, very good position here, being on 5 bases with that 5th base just going down and having done a ton of damage in delaying FXOBabyKnight's economy. So FXOBabyKnight is really, really hurting in terms of economy here. I would really like to see him do another expand up here because he does not have the kind of the time that he needs to get back into this game. And as we see, Snute is just making swarm hosts. He's got a good amount here. We'll have to see. He's adding it on with Hydras, so a very good play there. So that way they can't get over that. And I love this play, getting Hydras over top of the swarm host, so that way air units can't come over and just siege them. And it looks like he's going to just do a little attack there with his swarm host, and then he's going to unburrow, because I guess he doesn't want a constant wave of locusts attacking the Protoss. And it looks like there's going to be 2 Vipers on the way for Snute. So what he's going to probably try to do is get the Locusts to go in there, and then he's going to try to probably pull all of the Colossus into the Locusts and try to snipe them. We see Snute checking up here for another base just in case. Sees that there is no base, so Snute is probably feeling like he is in a very good position here, being on all of these bases and just really just destroying this Protoss economy. He might even get this Colossus, and it looks like a bad play there. Poor FXOBabyKnight does lose a Colossus. He's going to lose some of these roaches if he doesn't pull them away, but it's not a big deal for Snute. As we see, he does have a small bank, and these roaches aren't going to trade that well against the rest of these units. It looks like he might just go into full Hydra production, or he might just remake it. It looks like there's going to be a lot of Vipers on the way here, and these Hydras are going to absolutely destroy anything that gets pulled into them. We do have Spore Crawlers here as well, so I guess to protect these swarm hosts from any air units, but right now FXOBabyKnight is not in a position to make any amount of air at all, because that would be a complete tech switch. Look at how many cannons are going down here for FXOBabyKnight just to try to hold off all these locusts, and he's going to have a lot of Colossus here to take him down, but a lot of Colossus will go down fast to a lot of swarm hosts, or to a lot of Vipers and Hydras. So we have an Ultralisk Cavern on the way here for Snute, an interesting play there, and we see all these bases that Snute has, and it really doesn't look like Snute is going to be able to be beaten in terms of economy this game. It would really take FXOBabyKnight a huge win, a very cost-efficient play to kill this, and we'll have to see what these Vipers do, if they can actually pull these Colossus into the Locust, and some very good feedbacks there by FXOBabyKnight, preventing the majority of those Vipers from not getting any good pulls, and it looks like there's one Colossus pulled in. It's a very nice kill there, but only a little bit of energy on one of the Vipers, because FXOBabyKnight did a very good job of getting those feedbacks down before any big pulls could be in. And as we see, the Locusts are just continuing to push forward, though the Colossus are doing a great job. I think only one Stalker was lost from that wave, so they are pulling back here. The Spore Crawlers actually being used as basically movable energy here for these Vipers. So the Vipers are going to fuel up. This Viper is looking to be in a bad position here. But the constant siege of Locusts are really containing FXOBabyKnight. FXOBabyKnight is going to be kind of maxing out here soon. It looks like he might do a big push forward here. We do have 2 Ultralisks there, so FXOBabyKnight did see that. We'll have to see if that changes anything. Storm is almost done, though, for BabyKnight. So BabyKnight are going to have some very good efficient plays against these Hydras, because they will just melt away if the Storm goes down. We see the Vipers going in there, and we'll have to see if the feedbacks do go down. Oh, the Colossus are just being absolutely pulled in. Only 2 Colossus there survived. Actually, 3 Colossus survived. One of them that got pulled in did not die, but the Storms did a good amount of damage there to these Hydralisks. It looks like BabyKnight is doing a very good job of actually holding off this contain. He does manage to get this 4th base there during that kind of exchange. So it looks like there will be evolution chambers going down here, so the Vipers will have some energy. But it looks like the siege will continue with these swarm hosts. It looks like there will be a Hydralisk counterattack, sort of a multi-pronged attack there. Forcefield's going down to try to stop these locusts from going in, and it looks like this base will have to be canceled. And the probes are coming up, so we'll have to see a big warping of zealots though. And it looks like the Hydras might actually be able to hold on here, but the Stalkers going forward, and he actually brings his entire army here. So we'll have to see if these cannons are going to be enough. He might have to storm. He does throw down one storm. And it looks like the Hydras are going to come forward. The Colossus are going to be pulled in. Only one of them does go down. And it looks like 2 of them might actually just go down there. So 2 of them down. But BabyKnight is actually holding this surprisingly well. Manages to get up his 4th base. Manages to hold this contained super well. Being so very patient. Just doing a great job of actually keeping his units alive. These Colossus, I thought for sure would absolutely be killed, but just having an absolutely great positioning here on these maps. Though these Locusts are going to push forward here, and he's going to lose a little bit. Hopefully he doesn't lose any of these High Templars, and he almost loses one there. So it looks like Snute actually still just continuing to do this exchange, staying with his army, but he's getting a lot of upgrades here, and it looks like 2 pulls forward for the Archons. Oh, another pull in, and it looks like Snute or BabyKnight might actually just go and engage it. The Storms are going down on the army, and it looks like BabyKnight might actually push out of this. The Swarm hosts do not unburrow, and it looks like BabyKnight is going to actually push ahead and get out of this contain. BabyKnight actually on almost equal supply with Snute. Snute doing a little bit of reinforcement there, and it looks like BabyKnight decides not to push out because this fort is being sieged by Ultras and Hydras, but it looks like he might be able to hold on here. He definitely won't lose this Nexus. His army will be able to come in here and he'll hold this off. But BabyKnight holding the contain very well on 4 bases. Snute, though, is still not in a bad position here. He still has these proxy evolution chambers. He does have map control. But it's kind of what tech will he go down now? He's going down Ultralisk tech and still going Ultra Swarm Host, so wants to try to continue the siege there. But we'll have to see if it's going to work. BabyKnight is in all the pretty good positions. He is at 3-3, but 3 plasma shields, it seems like. In terms of upgrades, while we do have Snute with that chitinous plating, it looks like that 5 armor there, as well as almost 3-3 for his Hydralisks. So it looks like BabyKnight just going to play this game super patiently, and I'm just so surprised that he's so well able to hold on to this. We'll go to Units Lost tab here, and we'll actually have to see that Snute is in the worst position. Now, given he does have a lot more bases than BabyKnight, and he's been mining for a lot more on those bases, it is actually not that big of a deal. But I'm just, BabyKnight being so patient there and just actually taking that siege so well, it's actually ridiculous. And it looks like he's going to be expanding up here. If he can get this expansion off and hold it, he will be in a very good position for the late game. Snute as well is going to be expanding a little bit more because he knows that this game isn't quite close to over unless one of them can shut each other out. They are both maxed, as we can see there, and Snute doesn't have the biggest bank in the world. He has a lot of gas there, and that's going to be very important later on because gas is just an oh so important resource. And usually is the thing that's kind of holding the player back. So that gas is a very big thing. BabyKnight doesn't really have a bank at all, so he's constantly spending, constantly trying to get up. And it looks like Snute, is he going to push forward here? He doesn't have too many Swarm Hosts, so it looks like he's going to push forward here, but will the Vipers get some pulls? And there's going to be a Storm down there, not very effective on the Ultralisk, but the feedbacks on these Vipers will make or break this game, I feel like. If the Vipers can pull in those massive units, those Colossus, it's going to be a huge deal. Some very good Storms go down on the Hydras, killing a lot of them. And it looks like the Ultras are being focused down, and it looks like BabyKnight is going to be able to push out of here. He's going to push forward here. Oh, some good Storms down here on these Swarm Hosts will kill them really quickly. But it looks like he won't have to. And it looks like BabyKnight is in a very good position here. Snute really quickly remaxing But FXOBabyKnight breaking the contain once more, and it looks like he's going to be in a very good position. Will he continue to push is the question here. He's going to take down this Ultralisk, and he's got such a good army for this battle. I don't know if he can actually lose this. FXOBabyKnight is going to continue to push forward, killing the Swarmos, killing the Hydralisk, and I think FXOBabyKnight might just have this if he continues to push. There are 10 Ultralisks on the way, though, and it's going to have to see if he can focus down these Ultralisks. We do have only 2 Immortals here, so if only he had a couple less Colossus and some more Immortals. So we are going to see Swarmos Viper, Ultralisk Viper as the unit composition here for Snute. And if he can pull in these Colossus in, these Ultralisks will focus them down very, very quickly. So we'll have to see. FXOBabyKnight, though, does manage to get this base up, and it looks like he is in a very good position here for the late game. I wasn't sure how he was going to do after being contained for so long in his base. It looks like there's going to be an engagement here. Hydra's getting picked off rather quickly by the Colossus, and the Colossus are just going to be dancing around, and it looks like FXOBabyKnight has almost map control here. He's definitely not in a contain anymore, and Snute really can't push out anymore. He's sort of in a weird position where he doesn't know if he can really beat this Protoss army. They are both at maxed upgrades, I would assume. And actually, no, FXOBabyKnight is just going to start his armor upgrade, so he's only at 1 armor, but he does have that +3 shields. Which is an upgrade that's starting to be used now because Sky Toss is now a thing, so a lot of people are starting to get that Plasma Shields upgrade because it works for both ground and air units. So FXOBabyKnight is going to push forward here, and it looks like Snute is going to try to get into position here, but both players trying to kind of test the waters, not really sure. A Stalker will blink forward here to see what the army's all about, and it looks like he might start to push forward here. Again, some Storms are going to go down. They're not going to be that effective against the Ultralisks, but they will be definitely more effective against the Hydras. It looks like a lot of Storms going down. There are going to be some huge Viper pulls going into these Ultralisks, but the Ultralisks are going to get focused down really quickly. But who will win this? It looks like FXOBabyKnight's supply is dropping rather fast. Snute is doing a great job with these Ultras, focusing down these Stalkers and everything like that. And it looks like the Colossus will die there as well. And it looks like FXOBabyKnight is going to have to retreat, but FXOBabyKnight does have a huge bank here, so as long as he can get some macro out, he should be fine. FXOBabyKnight going to retreat back to what his 4th base would be. Snute, though, might actually try to get a lot of units out here quickly and try to push his advantage here. It is 187 to 147, and we'll have to see what Snute does to try to kind of punish FXOBabyKnight, because FXOBabyKnight really doesn't have too much right now. We do see Tempest on the way. He did decide to get Stargate tech here, but the funny thing about Tempest is that their massive damage gun only does it to air, as we can see right there. So the massive damage will not actually go to these Ultras, so he would maybe actually rather use something like a Void Ray, which will do a lot of extra damage versus an armored unit like the Ultralisk. But I'm not sure if FXOBabyKnight does know that. He might just want that long-range siege that he could really like hit these Vipers with, and maybe that's what he's actually going for, is just the Vipers, because he can make Immortals here, which do a ton of damage against these Ultras. But it looks like Snute is going to push out here. He is full supply, and there's no reason at full upgrades and full supply to not push out. You're just giving your opponent more time to sort of catch up with you. So Snute is going to push out here. He's going to find a Colossus there, and he's going to get it. So a nice free win there. Time Warps are going to go down by that Mothership. It looks like he doesn't want to. The Hero Immortal is going to be there. But the Tempest focusing down the Vipers, doing a great job of that. 2 Vipers with full energy are taken out. This Archon is going to have a bad day. The Zealots are going to push forward here, but FXOBabyKnight doesn't really want to engage this army, I don't think. Storms are going down beautifully on this army, and the Hydralisks are just going to absolutely melt away. And it looks like FXOBabyKnight is going to just absolutely destroy this army, and it looks like Snute is in a bad position with 130 supply versus FXOBabyKnight's 180. So FXOBabyKnight is going to just continue to press his lead here, and it looks like he's going to press forward here and continue to try to kill Snute. Snute is back up to 180 supplies out because he has so many bases, but we see there is no bank for Snute. There is a decent mineral bank there for FXOBabyKnight, so FXOBabyKnight actually in a very good position here. If we go to units lost tab, we do see that FXOBabyKnight is absolutely dominating in that aspect. But we do have these Tempests out on the field. And I like only making, I think, 4 right here, because that is going to really just kind of be a nuisance, but it's not enough that if Snute, like, makes, like, 10 Corruptors, that'll actually probably lose him the game. So it's whether or not you actually make units to try to counter the Tempest, or only go Hydralisks and hope you can kind of kill the Tempest there. So kind of a very interesting play there by Baby Knight. I really, really like it, kind of keeping a couple units like the Tempest out to focus down those Vipers, or do a little bit of extra damage there. So very interesting play here, and Baby Knight did manage to get a base up here, but it looks like there's going to be an Ultralisk attack here, so a double-pronged attack, and we'll have to see if it does a lot of damage here. The Zealots are going to focus down this hatchery, and Baby Knight, will he try to get this engaged? If he gets up this ramp first, yeah, Snoop knows he cannot get up there, and it looks like these Ultralisks are going to do a ton of damage and basically kill this base, but again, there's no minerals here, it's only mining gas, so not the biggest loss for Baby Knight, and it's not going to be the biggest deal here, but the Ultras are going to go up top, and it looks like Baby Knight's kind of got the backside surround there, so he's going to be able to kind of prevent reinforcements from coming there, but it looks like the Ultralisks are going to go up here to this base, and it looks like they might do a lot of damage. The cannons are doing a surprising amount of damage here, and it looks like Baby Knight is going to have to come back, and the Ultralisks are going to get that other base down. And a big blink forward there is going to take that out, but we do see Zealots down here in this base that is mining, full of drones there for Snute, so Snute is going to actually lose his hatchery, and these Zealots are actually just going to rally to go attack other bases there. Some Zealots went down there, but we do see Spine Callers all on the way. And it looks like Baby Knight is going to clean this up, and reinforcing units for Snute are going to have to head home, and again, this is a very back and forth game. We'll have to see how Snute kind of deals with this army, because Snute has not been as nearly cost-effective here as Baby Knight. He's definitely had the economy to not be cost-effective, but it looks like Snute might be doing, or Baby Knight might be doing a little bit too much damage here, and I'm not sure if Snute is going to be able to hold this next big attack. Because as we see, there are a lot of Archons. We do have some Immortals here. Only 2 Immortals again. So deciding to kind of not make Immortals, but rather make Tempests and other units. It looks like these 2 Ultralisks are going to get picked off rather quickly. Actually, they're going to survive there, but did take a lot of damage here. And High Templar with full energy are a very scary thing to see. And it looks like Baby Knight is just going to press forward here. There's going to be a Link counterattack at this base, and it might actually kill it if he can get to these cannons before they are all finished. And they all do finish up, so this Photon Overcharge might actually just kill this up. So it looks like Baby Knight is going to probably win out with this base. But it looks like he's going to push forward into these bases, and these bases are like the last mining bases here for Snute. Storms are going down here, but we'll have to see if Snute can hold on here. There are some units going up here, but it looks like Baby Knight is going to hold up. And there's the GG from Snute, and it looks like Baby Knight does manage to get this win in a surprising back and forth game. It looks like Baby Knight's cost efficiency with his army and his units were able to win him the game. Thanks for watching, everybody. There will be more Heart of the Swarm